You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. My name is Jared Tauber, aka DJ Dr. DJ. Today I'm joined with Portland-based band 1967 to talk about their new single, Not That Good Yet. Welcome to WMSC, Jaime Reynolds.
Hey, Jared. Glad to be here. Appreciate this.
So, right off the bat, you are a Portland band, but 1967 originally started in Phoenix, Arizona. In spite of that, I want to play a game of F, Marry, Kill, Arizona Venue Edition.
Okay.
So, F, Marry, Kill, Joe's Grotto, Lizard's Lounge, and Marquee Theater.
I will say Lizard's Lounge is the kill.
All right.
From Prescott, Arizona. The F would be Joe's Grotto. And the M would be the Marquee Theater in Tempe.
All right. Marquee Theater. Shout
there you
out.
have it.
Marquee Theater
Yeah,
takes
the
prize.
Woo.
Between rocking out with Prozac Staple in Seattle, then moving to Phoenix to be a PGA professional golfer, to then taking business over to Portland, how do you overcome the challenges of adapting to each city's distinct local scene?
Oh, man. It's always a challenge to start in a new scene. How do I adapt to that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Well, how do you navigate the obstacles that come with having to adapt to a city's distinct scene? Because I'm sure there are some major differences between the music in Phoenix and Seattle and Portland,
as well as Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Albuquerque when we were there as well. Yeah, it's just being myself is probably the best starting point, and then being friendly and trying to help out and meet other musicians, reaching out. Obviously, persistence and perseverance are huge as well. Never giving up, having a positive attitude, feeling grateful, and just never really stopping, I suppose. And getting to know the new venues around town, the places that you're nearby, or whatever big cities that you're nearby, or markets, and just sort of expanding your network, right? That works in any sort of business, really.
Right on.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging. I got a big network and know a lot of musicians. I know a lot of people in the industry, and yeah, that's definitely, not many bands would really take on that challenge at this level. They probably would want to stick in one city, right, and build that up. But when you have a family and you're moving around and things are changing and the wind's blowing you in different ways, you got to kind of adapt, like you said, right, and just take the best as it comes.
Yeah, not 1967.
Enjoy it.
1967 is everywhere. You'll never know where they'll be next.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's interesting.
True or false? You once opened for Slayer?
Yes. Yeah, and that band you mentioned, Prozac Staple.
Yeah.
We were a Jägermeister liquor sponsored band at that time, and yeah, it was a good time. A lot of fun. I think Killswitch Engage was on that show too, and Mastodon. It was a good one.
And Head PE, right?
Yeah, I've opened for Head PE in both bands actually. I did it with Prozac Staple back in the day, and then actually at the Marquee Theater with Head PE.
The Marquee Theater.
Yeah.
Looping
1967. Gosh, that was 2012 maybe, 2011. I can't remember. It's way back. It's a good show.
Tell me, are clothes optional at Woodstock?
Are clothes optional at Woodstock?
Yeah.
That's a good question. You might want to ask our drummer Matt that question. They could be.
So, hey, you've got this new single out called Not That Good Yet. Love it. Give me the lowdown on that. You worked with John Kurzweg on this.
Yeah, we worked with John in Santa Fe, New Mexico with this. did the drums with Matt Haskell in Phoenix, Arizona, one of our drummers who's played with since way back at the beginning, who also has a studio. And then we brought the drum tracks over to John in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was a really good experience working with John. He's a true professional in the industry. He's worked with a lot of heavy hitters. The music was sort of up his alley. He said he hadn't really done a project like that, like kind of an alternative rock, hard rock project in a while. And he thought, hey, let's give it a shot. He seemed to enjoy the songs. He liked working with me as well. He said it was a real quick kind of, I kind of knew what I wanted, and he just sort of, he helped amplify my vision and made it easy to make it happen. And I trusted him completely with all of his ideas that he had, his creative ideas. And yeah, I felt like it came out really well. Yeah, it was really easy to work with him. We just sort of became buddies, really. And he's got really good tea to drink there, by the way, at the studio. So I'd bring dinner over and we just kind of shoot the,
Of course.
And for like, half an hour, 45 minutes. And then we just go in and do some guitar tracks or, set up the gear, do some vocals. I also did the bass guitar in these recordings as well. So it's me on bass, it's me on guitars, it's me on vocals. It's the Jaime Reynolds show in the latest 1967 recording. I guess that's what it always was.
Right.
It's more economical just to kind of knock that stuff out in the studio. And he told me with Creed, with Mark, their guitar player, Mark Tremonti, he did the bass on a couple of their Creed albums because they had some challenges with the bass player at the time, cutting the music in the studio. He just couldn't quite get it and stuff like that. So he was used to that. And he really helped shape a lot of the riffs differently and change them to where they were a lot more simplified. I'm a guitarist, and so my bass lines get a little busy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
I know what you're talking about. Bass is fun. I play guitar as well.
And, nice. Awesome.
But of course, I mean, if you know how to play guitar, you kind of already know how to play bass too. But I wouldn't call myself a bassist by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I played bass before I played guitar. Back when I was.
You started with piano, actually, right? You started with piano at like 3 or 4 years old.
4 years old. Grandmother was teaching me. Then we got a new teacher. I think I did that for 3-4 years. I just didn't really like it because they wanted me to read music all the time. I just wanted to memorize everything, show me how to play it, and I'll just remember it and do it by feel. It just seemed like it was slow and I didn't really see the appeal in it. And then, I had a lot of rock music and things like that around me as a kid. So I was influenced a lot by like the old 50s and 60s rock and 70s with my parents, and then 80s and 90s with my brothers and sisters because they were way older than I was. And so there's a big span of a lot of rock influences, like jumping around with a tennis racket to Michael Jackson's Thriller to, Van Halen's Panama.
So would you call yourself the Brian Wilson of 1967?
Oh yeah, exactly. In my room.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been doing recordings like that since I was a teenager as well, with like little 4 and 8 tracks and cassette 8 tracks, and figuring out the little multi-track kind of demoing world, if you will. And I've been doing that for a long time, just by self-teachings and things like that. So, but yeah, John's definitely a pro. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. I learned a lot from him in the recording setting as well. And he's definitely pretty awesome.
And I'm sure he's really easy to talk to as a performing artist because he's no stranger to the stage. He spent a lot of time fronting bands. I'm sure like Slapstick, Radio Bikini, and Synergy.
Absolutely. In his own right. Yeah, he was signed to Atlantic for a period of time as well, and had some success in Germany.
Germany.
Back in the 80s. Yes.
When keeping that in mind, is there an aspect of the live performance that you have in mind when approaching tracks like Not That Good Yet?
Yeah, basically with Not That Good Yet, we just plug in and start rocking and rolling. The musicians I'm playing with here in Portland, Oregon, it's Will Strong on bass and Sean Kenny on drums. These guys are pros here in town. They've got their own band, Polar Bear Capitalist, as well. Sort of a prog rock kind of math rock band, which is pretty cool. We just did a show with them Friday night, actually, a couple nights ago here at the Hawthorne Hideaway. It was a lot of fun. First show back in over a year, so it felt good to get out. But yeah, we just plug in, turn up, and just rock that song out, basically. And Will throw a couple of backup gang vocals on the chorus. It's sort of that's how we approach it live. You know, that's the main ingredient really on the chorus. It's like, got to make sure we hit that gang vocal, right? That's the accentuation of that chorus.
That's the energy.
Yeah, and then the guitar solo. Just want to make sure that's on point as well.
Classic.
That's kind of a really simple guitar solo. You can sing along to it. But other than that, jump around, have fun, get wacky, and make everybody happy in the crowd. Just enjoy yourself. Positivity.
So your drummer, Matt Haskell, he has cited Dave Lombardo of Slayer as one of his biggest drumming influences, as well as Igor Cavalera of Sepultura. So in a hypothetical drum battle of the ages, who would take home the prize, Dave or Igor?
Whew. Whoa. Wow. I wish he could answer that. Gosh, man, you know, I like Igor's groove personally. This is just my answer. He may have a different one.
Okay, fair.
Igor's got the groove, man. He's got the groove. It's like Igor could have played with Hendrix. I don't think Lombardo could have played with Hendrix. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of backbeat, just hanging in the back, just kind of keeping it simple and with a simple beat. I play drums as well.
Yeah. You picked up drums after piano before bass, if I'm correct, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Then it was bass. Bass was third. But yeah, it was. He just knows how to hang back, and he can get crazy too. However, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
A lot of things have changed in the last 10 years, let alone year. But specifically, as it pertains to 1967, who's been around for a long time. You've seen the musical landscape, especially in rock, change a lot. What are some things you miss that aren't present today, and what are some new things that weren't present back then that excite you and keep you grounded in the genre?
Absolutely. Well, they didn't have Zoom meetings back then.
No, of course. They're missing out.
Yeah. Back then, wow, it still sort of feels similar in some respects to the way it used to be. But yeah, as far as the pandemic, yeah, that's definitely different. That's huge. That's a huge change the last year or so. We haven't been able to play shows for over a year, whereas before you could play hundreds of shows a year and they would just want to have you and come out and play and get some people out to the show. Now it's just, hey, we're not open yet. Like, we're not open yet. Hey, is your venue open yet? No, we're not ready yet. Or
you got back to doing some shows recently, didn't you?
Yeah, and that venue's been the Hawthorne Hideaway here in Portland, Oregon. They've been doing some shows a couple months now, maybe 3 months. Lower capacity. It seemed pretty full though, so it's pretty wide open here in town from what I've seen. But yeah, it hasn't been that long at all, like maybe a month or two. So yeah, there's a big demand. There probably wasn't a big demand for live music back then, I would say, because it was just sort of normal, right? Just what was going on. And
yeah, well, now it's completely in
for
demand.
granted.
It's the top things on a lot of people's mind. I know it's the top thing on my mind. I just want to get back to a concert.
It's been a challenge.
Most certainly.
Yeah, day at a time, 24 hours at a time for me to cope with it. So, yeah.
So moving on to some college radio. A college radio question. because WMSC is Montclair State University's college radio station, and college radio has been the foundation of many artists' careers in a time where there are several other services and ways of music discovery. What do you think, rather, why do you think college radio still matters? Why do I still matter? Why do I matter?
Why does college radio still matter? Well, it's where DJs can discover new music, and new DJs can come up and get their feet wet and get some experience, and get the word out about new music that's coming out.
Like 1967.
Yeah, it's sort of like new music. It's been around for a decade, but we're trying to break out of obscurity. So maybe that vehicle can help us out as well. It seems to be a starting point for a lot of artists prior to when they hit the bigger radio waves, I believe. I think it's, hey, we start with college radio. We got a little traction there. And then we went to like a bigger sort of, was it Entercom? Is that a big player? I can't remember. It's really challenging to get into bigger radio stations, basically. So we got to start somewhere, right? But yeah, you guys are spreading the word around campus and those communities as well, because a lot of just civilians will listen to your radio stations, right? They'll just come across it on the airwaves, and I really like that station. That's pretty interesting.
And
especially they play a lot of different things. It's more wide open. It's not so structured with like just rock or country or
definitely
pop or something like that.
There's a lot more freedom to college radio than what comes with mainstream satellite radio.
There is. I was a college radio DJ as well.
Oh, look at that!
At one point.
Where were you DJing?
Oh, it was over Skagit Valley College, up near Seattle, Washington.
Cool. Oh my God. So that's look at me. It's like I'm sort of the beginning of your journey. Maybe one day I'll be in a band called 1968.
Who knows? KSBR, it's still around.
KSBR. Shout out to KSBR.
Yeah.
Did you have your own show?
No, it's just more of like a time slot.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think I might have like supporting someone else. And then we'd play live a little bit. It was fun. Took the radio class. It was good. It was a good experience.
Well, thank you, Jaime, for speaking with me today. Everyone listening, 1967's new single, Not That Good Yet, is out now and available everywhere.